One title alone was enough to grab attention. Best MACD Trading Strategy, 86% win rate. A strong title, direct, and designed to imply that we are looking at something exceptional. But when Phantom took this idea, turned it into real code, and forced it to face a real backtest, a very different story appeared. In trading, the most dangerous thing is not a losing strategy. The most dangerous thing is a strategy that looks highly convincing before it is tested. And in one quiet moment, while Phantom's own trades were already running under his usual system, he was not looking for a new position. He was looking for an idea that might deserve a place inside the lab. And among hundreds of videos, one title made him stop. Best MACD Trading Strategy, 86% win rate. The promise was clear, the idea looked simple, and the message was extremely attractive. Take MACD, add the 200 EMA, combine it with support and resistance, and you have a high accuracy strategy. But Phantom does not buy titles. Phantom opens files. And in this episode, this is the file we are opening. Video title, Best MACD Trading Strategy, 86% win rate. Core idea, MACD plus the 200 EMA plus support and resistance. Main claim, a very high win rate. Official test time frame, the 15-minute time frame. Backtest scope, the entire available history. Execution integrity, bar magnifier enabled. Main question, is this really the best MACD strategy or just a title stronger than the result? The original video presents the idea in a very simple way. The core logic is roughly this. For long trades, you wait for a bullish MACD crossover. That crossover has to happen below the zero line, and price has to be above the 200 EMA. For short trades, you wait for a bearish crossover. That crossover has to happen above the zero line, and price has to be below the 200 EMA. Then the video adds another layer, which it treats as the quality booster, support and resistance. So the idea is not just MACD plus trend. There also has to be an important level, a logical price reaction around that level, and then the trade is taken with a target of 1.5 times risk. At the level of a quick explanation, the strategy sounds excellent. A trend filter, a momentum filter, a location filter inside the indicator, and a price action layer. And this is exactly where the real problem begins, because a strategy can look very strong when explained visually, without actually being strong once it is turned into strict rules. While reviewing the video, it quickly became clear that the problem was not only the title, it was also the gray area inside the explanation itself. The first observation was that the explanation of MACD was not fully accurate from a technical standpoint. In the video, the indicator is presented in a simplified way that can distort how a viewer understands its actual structure. And this correction matters. The MACD line is not simply a 12-day moving average. It is actually the difference between the 12 EMA and the 26 EMA. And the signal line is not a 26-day moving average. It is the 9 EMA of the MACD line itself. This is not a small theoretical detail, because any inaccurate simplification of the indicator affects how the signal is understood, and eventually affects the entire testing logic. The second observation was the language itself. The video uses extremely confident language that suggests that combining these elements almost guarantees the result. And in trading, any word like guaranteed should be treated with extreme caution. The third observation, and the most important one, was that the video does not freeze the rules clearly enough to allow a fair backtest. The moment the idea was turned into a real strategy, the necessary questions immediately appeared. What exact moving average type are we using? What are the MACD settings? Do we enter on candle close or on the next candle open? How exactly is the stop loss calculated? How do we define support and resistance in code? What counts as a touch of the level? What counts as a false break? How long does a level remain valid? And when does it lose validity? What trading costs are included, such as commissions and slippage? And how many trades are allowed in the same direction? At that point, it became obvious that the video, no matter how structured it seemed, still needed a full rule freeze before it could be tested properly. This is where Phantom began the most important phase, not just explaining the video, but locking in the rules required to make the test possible. The rules used in the final coded version were these: a 200 EMA on close, MACD with default settings, entry on the next candle open, because it is closer to realistic execution. Exit only through take profit and stop loss, and a fixed target of 1.5 times risk. Then 2 stop loss interpretations were built to cover more than one logical reading of stop placement, because the video itself was not fully clear. Option 1. A stop placed above or below the EMA by a defined number of ticks. Option 2. A stop placed at the nearest valid swing within a defined lookback window, with an automatic fallback to the EMA stop if no valid swing existed. The most difficult part, however, was support and resistance. That section had to be converted from a visual idea into a measurable structure. So the final logic used pivot-based levels, confirmed pivots only, touches counted through the wick, tolerance based on an average true range fraction, only the latest valid level, a maximum level age, a maximum number of closes beyond the level during the break, and entry only after price returns and closes in a way that confirms the intended reclaim. In other words, what was a broad visual idea in the video was turned here into clear rules that code could actually understand. Before looking at the result, the integrity of the test itself has to be clear. The official test in this episode was run on the 15-minute time frame, which matches the time frame shown in the original video. Then the entire available history was used for every asset, rather than selecting a small and carefully chosen window. And inside the Phantom Lab, a strategy is not judged on one asset or 2 examples, but on a broad and varied basket of assets and market environments. That is why the test basket included stocks with different personalities, foreign exchange pairs, and a range of crypto assets, from major coins to more volatile names. Bar magnifier was also enabled, which improves the precision of stop and target execution inside the candle by using more detailed lower timeframe movement. That does not turn a backtest into absolute truth, but it does make the result far closer to real execution than a basic test built only on the visible candle. With this structure, the goal was not to search for the best looking example, but to place the idea inside the strictest testing environment possible, and then judge it by the result, not by the impression. Now comes the real question. After Phantom took the idea from the video, turned it into code, froze the rules, and ran the official test with the settings shown on screen, did we actually find the best MACD strategy? The short answer is no, not in the way the title sells it. Let me be precise here. I am not saying the idea is completely empty, and I am not saying every result was catastrophic, but the overall picture from the official test was much colder than the marketing promise in the title. On assets such as Bitcoin, Avalanche, Nvidia, Tesla, and the S&P 500, the strategy did produce positive results, but only in a limited way. They were positive, but only in a way that does not justify the marketing title and does not reflect exceptional performance. On other assets such as Ethereum, Eurodollar, and British Pound against the US dollar, the results were clearly weaker, and these are only examples from the broader group of assets tested. So what does that mean? It means the official test did not produce anything close to the image of an exceptional MACD strategy with an extraordinary win rate. Instead, it produced a very different picture, an idea with some logic, but with real-world performance that is unstable and, at best, highly limited. Phantom did not stop at the official test, because the next question was important. Is the problem in the strategy itself, or in one specific part of it? In the second test, the support and resistance filter was kept, but the stop-loss logic was changed. The result was clear. Yes, some results did change, but not in a way large enough to change the overall judgment. In other words, the stop-loss type does matter, but not in a way that transforms the idea into a strong and robust strategy by itself. Then Phantom removed the support and resistance filter. This is where the message became much clearer. Once that filter was removed, the number of trades increased sharply, but the expected improvement did not appear. In fact, most results deteriorated more clearly, and the meaning here is simple. Removing support and resistance made the strategy trade more often, but with lower quality. That means more opportunities, more noise, and worse performance. And that confirms something important. The support and resistance filter was not just a cosmetic detail. It was blocking part of the lower quality signals, but at the same time, its presence alone was still not enough to turn the whole idea into a real edge. In the final test, support and resistance was removed, and the stop-loss logic was changed as well. And again, the result was clear. Across the tested assets, the expected breakthrough never appeared. So even with a different stop, the simpler version without support and resistance did not emerge as a real rescue. And this brings the final message into focus. The stop matters. The support and resistance filter has value, but neither one alone can save the idea, and neither one alone can turn it into an exceptional strategy. This brings us to one of the most important sections of the series. Why did this strategy look better on YouTube than it did in the test? In my view, there are 4 main reasons. First, a visual explanation always looks stronger when the examples are selectively chosen. Second, ambiguity itself gives a strategy artificial strength. As long as you do not define exactly where the entry is, exactly where the stop is, exactly how the level is drawn, and exactly what counts as a break, the strategy can continue to look amazing on screen. Third, the title itself pushes expectations extremely high, and when a viewer comes in expecting 86%, they begin looking at examples through that lens. Fourth, the transition from manual explanation to hard rules always reveals whether the strength was real or simply created by flexible interpretation. After reviewing the video, freezing the rules, building the code, running the official test, and comparing the second, third, and final tests, it is time for the judgment. Incomplete and heavily overstated by the title. In plain words, it is not completely empty. It does contain some initial logic, but it is not as strong as the title sells it, and its actual results do not support the image of the best MACD trading strategy in the way most people would understand it. This is not a strategy that dies at first glance, but it is also not a strategy that proves itself the moment it enters the lab. And because the goal of this series is not only judgment, but also transparency, the code built for this episode will be published on TradingView as open source, so that anyone can test it personally on different assets, different time frames, and different settings. And there is another point worth stating. This kind of testing takes real time and real effort. That is why Phantom Trader Backtesting Lab will be a weekly series. But remember the most important detail. This is not the original creator's code. This is the testable logical interpretation of the strategy as it appeared in the video, after freezing what was unclear and turning it into explicit rules. And if you believe a different interpretation of the unclear parts would produce a better result, you can modify the code yourself and test your own reading of the idea. And if there is another file you want Phantom to open, drop the video title in the comments. And turn on the bell so you are there when Phantom opens the next file. In the next episode, Phantom will return again, not to buy the claim, but to test it.